And if you get both, then
and those are dreams. And you get them, but just not often.
Brandon Simmons, a mutual friend, asks about your ministry with Nick Vujicic.
Thank you, Brandon. It's really near and dear to me. Nick Vujicic, Vujicic. Google him. Him and Tim Tebow, great guy, are the two biggest quote unquote draws in Christianity today. Nick was born without arms and legs. I met Nick when he was 17 years old back in 1999. He actually is about a decade millionaire off of investments in our model. He's very, very active with it. And his dad and uncle, his dad passed away a few years ago. His uncle just passed about 3 weeks ago. And that was really his surrogate father. I'm next in line. Sometimes I'm like a brother. Sometimes I'm like an uncle. He's an amazing guy. And he grew up without arms and legs. I would never speak out of turn. He tried to commit suicide, but every time he did, he didn't have any arms and legs, so he can't blow his brains out. He can't drive his car over a cliff. He literally was like, first time he was 12 years old, and he was going to drown himself in the tub. And he went under to do it. And then just before he was about to pass out, he realized, Mom's going to find me. I can't do this to my mom. And they were a lower class family. His father was a pastor. His mother was a nurse. They weren't very well off. And his father told him, you're going to need to figure out how to make money, son, because I can't take care of this. We can't sustain this. And so he read my book, Money Secrets of the Rich. At the time, it was one of 3 books he'd ever read. He read it cover to cover. It was dog-eared and marked up. And when he writes, he doesn't have arms and legs. He's got to put the pen in his mouth. He's an amazing guy. People look at me and go, God, this poor guy, he's disabled and handicapped. He looks at the audience and goes, you poor people, you're all disabled up here and in here. You don't have faith. You don't take action. He's fearless. And so he goes through, we've been doing some stuff together for years and years. We're going to continue to do some more stuff together. And there's some stuff that will be coming out in the next year or two that Nick and I are going to be doing together. I'm actually Friday on my wedding anniversary, with my wife's blessing, my son and I are actually flying out to aid Nick on a project he's doing in East Texas. He's got some land and some property there, and he's looking at different things he can do to do mentorship and housing and fellowship and help people. So there's some really cool stuff. Thanks for the request, and just follow it along and feel free. Go to our Facebook page and feel free to reach out. But it's very near and dear to me, and Nick's amazing. And he literally, he took our big training in our program in Phoenix from Australia. He was 18 years old, and he went home with no arms and legs and raised money and became a multimillionaire in real estate investing. So kind of like when I say that, I then look somebody in the eye who's giving me a bunch of excuses, and it's like, what's your story again? Because your story may be real, but it's not true. Because if anybody on the planet should have been able to pull the I'm a handicapped card out and not do it, it was Nick.
Yeah.
And he crushed the business.
Yeah.
And still does.
Camilo